The next big addition to the game is Osana, the first official rival. I've made a lot of progress towards adding her to the game. However, it could be another month or 2 months until she's complete. I'm always searching for things that I can add to the game to keep you entertained until Osana is ready. One place where I search for inspiration is the latest Hitman game. I've managed to put 140 hours into this game, and I think that the reason is because of 2 features: escalation missions and player-made contracts. In both of these gameplay modes, you are tasked with hunting down a character and eliminating them in a very specific way with numerous restrictions to make things more challenging. This adds tons of replay value to the game. To help you pass the time until Osana is ready, I've decided to add a new gameplay mode inspired by what I've found in the latest Hitman games. I'm not sure what type of name to give it, but for now, I'm calling it Mission Mode. The purpose of Mission Mode is to provide the player with randomly generated missions. The player is given the option of choosing how difficult the missions are going to be. If you don't like a mission that the game has generated for you, you can tap a button to generate a new one. You can also decide the number of students that will be present at school, but I'll explain more about that later. You can imagine Mission Mode as a mode that takes place in a completely separate reality from the main story mode. In this alternate universe, Yandere-chan is not actually a Yandere girl. Instead, she is a young killer for hire. Instead of selling blackmail and panty shots, Info-chan operates an assassination service for students. If you're being bullied at school, you can hire an assassin to kill the student who has been bullying you in any way you see fit. For example, let's say that Musume Ronshaku has bullied a girl by cutting her swimsuit with a pair of scissors. The girl retaliates by hiring an assassin to kill Musume Ronshaku with a pair of scissors while wearing a swimsuit. As you can probably tell, the feel of Mission Mode is meant to be completely different from the feel of the base game. To help you feel more like a predator hunting down prey, the game's soundtrack has been replaced with much more tense and serious music. Activating Yandere Vision will highlight your target with a red outline. The school's atmosphere will be determined by the difficulty level that you have chosen. So if you're playing at the highest difficulty level, the school will have a very dark feeling. Debug commands and Easter eggs are completely disabled in Mission Mode, so you aren't allowed to cheat and have to play the game seriously, as if it was the final product. Additionally, sanity-based attack animations are permanently enabled, and there is no longer a row of weapons in front of the school. All weapons have been relocated to more logical locations. You can see your objectives at any time by pausing the game. If you fail one of your objectives, gameplay will halt immediately. You are then given the option of retrying the mission, receiving a new mission, or returning to the main menu. Once you have completed your objectives, you can complete the mission by exiting the school. Currently, there are 9 different ways that a mission can become more complicated. A mission might require you to use a specific weapon, wear a specific outfit, or dispose of the body in a specific way. You might be instructed to make sure that nobody else other than the target is injured, or to make sure that nobody witnesses the murder or the corpse. You also might have to clean up all the blood and dispose of the murder weapon, and perhaps you'll also be given a time limit. I think that this is the bare minimum number of challenges that the mode should have in order to be interesting. I'd love to add even more challenges, such as adding security cameras to the school, requiring Yandere-chan to steal something during the mission, or perhaps adding a character who actively attempts to hunt you down and kill you while you're trying to complete the mission. Their appearance would be different every time you play a mission, so the only way to identify them would be to constantly look over your shoulder and check to see if anyone is stalking you. For an added challenge, perhaps you would not be permitted to kill the hunter. I think that there's a lot of potential in this gameplay mode. I'd like to continue adding to it in the future, but Osana will continue to be my top priority until she is complete. Behind the scenes, each mission is really just a set of numbers that dictate objectives and conditions. So it really shouldn't be too difficult to allow the player to design a mission for others to play. Giving someone a mission would be as easy as giving them a string of numbers that represents the objectives of the mission. If this mode gets really popular, then maybe I'll implement a system for designing missions, sharing them, filtering them, and maybe even a leaderboard system so that people can compete for the best times and best scores. But, of course, all of that will probably have to wait until after Osana is finished. Right now, mission mode is in its earliest, roughest form. I've fixed all the bugs that I can find, but there might still be a few glitches that I haven't found yet. If people report lots of bugs with mission mode, I'll try to fix those bugs and upload a new build of the game as soon as possible. It only took me 3 days to put together mission mode. The rest of my time over the past 2 weeks was spent working on Osana, improving the game's frame rate, and also restructuring the game to support a higher number of students at school. I fixed a lot of problems that were causing the game to have a low frame rate. Last week, we had a frame rate of 30 frames per second in the school plaza. Now, we're hovering around 50 frames per second in the school plaza. Of course, my mission is to achieve 60 frames per second even when all students are visible and animating simultaneously. We're not there yet, but one day, we might finally get there. Normally, there are only 40 characters in Yandere-chan's high school at any given time. If you've got an ultra-powerful supercomputer, you're invited to open the debug menu, press the X key, and test out a higher school population. In this mode, the school is populated by 90 students and 7 teachers. As you can see, the frame rate improvement that I was talking about is instantly gone in this mode. Until I fix the frame rate, this will not be the default number of students at the school. When simulating a higher school population, the game spawns a bunch of characters with randomly generated names, appearances, and routines. Each time you load the school, you will see a different set of students. I don't suggest developing an emotional attachment to any of them, since none of them are permanent, but it does help simulate what the final game will be like. Try killing Midori and carrying her body to the incinerator without getting spotted while 90 students are roaming the hallways. Depending on their randomly generated routines, it might be quite difficult to pull it off. In the final game, students will not be randomly generated. Each student will have a permanent name, appearance, and role within the school. Each student's routine will be designed so that there are very few blind spots in the school where nobody can see you committing a crime. It's been over a year since the last time I took a vacation, so for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to take some time off. If there are any critical bugs in the latest build, I'll be sure to fix them, but I'm going to try and relax as much as possible until December 1st. Last year, I held a fan art contest during my vacation. I'll probably do the same thing this year, so check out my WordPress blog if you're interested. Thank you for following the development of Yandere Simulator.